All right, let's talk about the characters a little bit. I have a little interview. How are the characters created? Sakaguchi says, initially Hori would drop a rough sketch of the characters. The drawings he showed us were really bad. But Toriyama said that was actually for the best. Their lack of detail and finesse meant that Toriyama wasn't constrained by someone else's designs. He had more freedom this way. Frog's character was created in this fashion, with Hori handing off a sketch to Toriyama. Who are your favorite characters? Yasayuki said Frog is my favorite. Tokita said Frog maybe. Actually, no, I have to think. I think I have to go with Ayla. RPGs that have come out recently have been so serious and dramatic, with many serious protagonists who shoulder heavy burdens. Given the prevalence of characters like that, I wanted to try to add a simple character, one who lives by instinct, and those qualities would be good for gags and jokes too. I had an image of Ouyang, Fei in mind. I don't know who that is. Because there were fewer characters in Chrono Trigger compared with 6, it allowed their personalities to stand out more. This guy's favorite is Robo. He gets healing skills midway through the game. His attack is high. He's very easy to use. His magic defense is low. Masuda said his favorite character is the Bat Monster. I really like that little guy. And then he likes Frog. There's a lot of strange, funny monsters in Chrono Trigger. We kind of let our spirit of playfulness run free, which had been pent up in the Final Fantasy developments. Nomura said he likes Magus, probably because I did a bunch of the backgrounds for his castle. I think the way he runs is cool. Okawa likes the cats. What are your guys' favorite characters in Chrono Trigger, and any standout NPCs or monsters?
Frog. Because yes.
Frog is just funny to be like, yeah, there's these normal people and this Frog on my team. One of the earlier NPCs when you're in the future, I just remember this guy who's like, you call this money? Yeah, sure, whatever. Like, doesn't even care. Life is so hopeless. He's like, yeah, sure, this is fucking money, I guess. Whatever. I don't know why. I always liked him.
That's why she loved Tobin.
Oh, jeez.
The adventurer.
I actually really
pint at the bar. I don't know. That and like the little kid who's like the hero. It's like, this guy? You said this little 5-year-old was the hero? He saves time? He's like, I didn't sign up for this.
My favorite character from just a design perspective is probably Robo. I just like all the story that goes along with him, and that he's friends with Luca, who brings him back, and he's like the most lovable guy. He's a robot, and I really like the moment when they all hang out at the campfire scene. There's just something special about that, and seeing Robo there, and because he just got repaired from slaving away in the forest for a while. Magus is such a legendary character. I never really liked Frog that much, so I'm always surprised. I was surprised on the timeout when you guys were all like unanimously like Frog is great.
He stands out so much because everyone's like a robot. I get it, you're from the future, and like all these past, I would be like, okay, caveman, and then just you're a frog. I see. Okay.
Well, the frog would come from the myth of the frog kissing the princess.
Yeah, I just compared to everyone else, I guess he stands out for me.
Chivalry is not dead with Frog.
yeah.
Just like such a gentleman, and he's like noble, and he stands up for what's right. He doesn't even want to join your party the first time that you meet him. You have to come back and like get him later. He's a little despondent, so like I kind of wish Frog would like grow backbone, but he does. And the Masamune, like that's classic, especially when you actually get the power of the Masamune. He becomes much more desirable in the party. So. I like Frog. I like his ties to Cyrus. He's very noble to him to the end, and this kind of feud with Magus, they're inseparable in my opinion.
Ayla.
Yeah,
let's talk about Ayla real quick. They asked, what party do you think is easiest to get through with the game? Kitasu said they all have their strengths and weaknesses, so none in particular. I think the difficulty stays mostly the same no matter who you choose. But if you compare the characters individually, maybe Robo is the strongest. Of course, if we're talking only about appearances, I think Ayla is best. They said, what do you mean? During the development, her breasts actually bounced a lot more. It was amazing the boing boing they were able to convey with such small character sprites. Uchiyama said, but then Aoki saw it and said, this is too much. So we had no choice but to restrain ourselves. You can see a remnant of our enthusiasm in Ayla's battle animations, though. They really bounce in some of her special moves.
What a way to say I'm not creepy without saying I'm not creepy.
Yeah.
Promise, man. I was just trying out the physics engine, we swear.
That's amazing.
You know what? Breasts aside, I mean, she is fun. You know, she's a good character. The whole like, Kino, no worry, you good man for me. And I kind of like that like clever banter. She's not too serious, which is in the vein of this game is frequently described as like not too serious in a game that is actually quite serious.
I'm really
So
happy
it's a
that
bit of
she
lighthearted
spoke perfect
fun.
English.
Yeah.
You know?
Her English was impeccable.
I know, crazy 5 billion whatever years ago. They're like, oh, it's good. English is here.
I'm just gonna throw out some characters to see if you guys had any good memories of them. There's the various kings from the different times, the chancellors. Ozzy, Flea, and Slash, who in Japan were soy sauce, mayonnaise, and vinegar.
That's such an Akira Toriyama ass thing to do.
Then there's Kino, Azalia, Queen Zeal, Shala, Jasper, Balthazar, and Melchior. And we can talk about that in a second. And then Doan. You guys remember any of these guys?
Never heard of him.
Never heard of them. Yeah.
No, I'd say I remember Scala a lot for reasons, and then I also Doan, whatever. I never realized how much of a sort of comedy character he was, or at least I couldn't take him seriously.
Yeah,
Like,
Starvation is really funny.
Well, no, I mean, he's more of a failure. I remember watching my brother when he was doing this stuff, and I was like, "Oh, it's another boss." And he's like, "Yeah, don't worry about this guy." I was like, "Okay."
Is that Dalton? Is that
You mean Dalton?
Oh no, I'm sorry, Dalton. Yeah, I'm mixing him up. Dalton. Why isn't he on here?
Okay, talk about Dalton.
Dalton.
He's a real comedy character. He's really.
I can't take him seriously. Woo! Starvation here. Woo!
I was like, Doan, the guy that's
Black Omen. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's
okay.
it's been like what 2 weeks or something like that.
Who's Stone? I thought that's what you meant, Spencer.
No, Doan is the old man in the future. He's gonna be your great grandson, I guess. But he's just the old. He's like a leader of the 2300 AD. And he's like, you guys are weird, like healthy, What does that mean?
So what the hell?
I do appreciate they went from food references to Rockstar references because America. You have to really get this out there.
We're pretty simple.
Yeah.
Well, and
The
then
tactic failed.
from there, they went from food references to rock and roll references to biblical references. What's up with Jasper, Balthazar, and Melchior? Some wise men.
It's a game made by Square. It's a game made by Square. There's always something with God in it somehow, some way.
Mm.
Did you guys see the what was it? The game theory where they talked about how this was a biblical analogy?
No.
It's
That
interesting.
lost me after a while.
It's an interesting one, but it's probably going a little too far. But it's fun to think about it because they are, those are your three wise men, the kings. All right, let's talk about Chrono's death.